Yeah, we've just been super busy lately. Hey, my battery's about to go dead on my phone. Let me call you back, okay? All right, thanks a lot. Okay. This is like a dream. Guess she's already dead.
What's the matter with you?
Chris, the house
That's a corn maze, I know.
How did you do?
You told me to get it ready for Halloween.
But it's a corn maze.
Yeah, I know. You can find anything on YouTube. I just looked it up on YouTube,
Really?
man.
How
Yeah,
did
it's
you
great.
plant that like that? It looks real. You know, I have to tell you, I love Halloween. I always have. You see, it's been a tradition in our family to have great Halloween parties because, well, my grandmother actually was born on Halloween. So because of her birthday, we always had a big Halloween/birthday party filled with all kinds of fun costumes, pranks, good food, and lots of laughs. And of course, when you're having a party, there are the decorations, and I always try to make some of them in advance. One of the reasons I love the fall so much is because of pumpkins. I'm crazy about pumpkins. They're just so interesting. They come in so many different beautiful colors and wacky shapes. I use them for all kinds of things. I use them inside the house for decorating. I use them on tables. I use them outside. For Halloween, we cut them in all sorts of shapes and sizes for jack-o'-lanterns and so forth. But I love taking pumpkins to the extreme, and that's what we're doing this year. I got a buddy of mine to actually build the frame for a pumpkin house. You see, what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these pumpkins you see lying around here. We're going to put them up on the vertical around this house, which is 12 feet by 10 feet. We're going to completely clad it in pumpkins. Pumpkins of all colors and shapes and sizes. As you can see, it's a virtual mosaic or medley of pumpkins for the wall. We have white ones and orange ones and blue ones, and even some of these peanut pumpkins that are all puckered on the outside. And then around the entryway, yes, a house needs to have an entryway, we're surrounding it with these striped cushaw pumpkins. Now you can see these big building blocks of the house are supported by rings. There are about 358 of these rings, and they're two different sizes, and they slide into a slot here, like this, and they serve as a shelf for us to set the pumpkin in or lean the pumpkin against the back frame. You see, you need these to stabilize the pumpkins. These things are actually really heavy. That's why this thing needed to be built of steel. A variety of sizes is important here. We're using really big ones around the base for the foundation of the house, of course, medium-sized ones for the walls, and then these smaller ones to sort of fill in like this. Now this is no shabby shack. You see it's complete with windows here and here, window boxes, as well as a chandelier on the inside. And if you look on top of the roof, there's a wonderful weather vane. And in this case, it's adorned with a witch. Perfect for preparing for Halloween. And then of course there's the roof. You may be wondering what we'll cover it with. Well, it could be any range of materials, straw, ornamental grasses, or even corn stalks, which is what I plan to do. cover it entirely with cornstalk so it looks like a thatched cottage. Like I said, this is the time of year to get extreme and have some fun. Well, I better get busy. I've got a house to build. Much more garden style straight ahead, including the recipe to this delicious pumpkin creme brulee. But next, we head to the pumpkin patch, so stay tuned. Pumpkins are a part of a really big family of plants. They include honeydew melons, watermelons, even all types of squash, including zucchini squash. Pumpkins are also delightfully promiscuous vegetables in that they cross-pollinate with one another, producing all sorts of shapes and textures and colors. I got all of these pumpkins from my friends the Holmans, and they grow lots of pumpkins every fall. The range they produce is really quite amazing.
They called me on the phone and said they needed a bunch of pumpkins, all different varieties, about 12 inches across. And so we all kind of laughed and thought, that's gonna be fun, trying to find all of them exactly 12 inches across. But we just picked the varieties that were general size to what they wanted, that would fit in that pumpkin house. Different size for go around the bottom, and the trees, all different sizes for that. So they were pretty easy going about what they got for it. We started only with like 7 acres and delivering to a few places, and then we've just grown a little bit every year. We have a friend that grew pumpkins on a very much smaller scale to raise money for his kids' college. And his daughter was about out of college, and he asked us if we'd like to go in with him and grow pumpkins for our kids' college. And that's how we started. This is a college fund. So then they'll be going into retirement fund. We have probably 25 different varieties of pumpkin, gourds, and squash. Every year we have popular varieties, and we keep those coming back every year. I'm the only girl in this operation, so every year I pick out a few that I think look really neat and then tell them that we have to plant them. These are the Cinderellas. They're one of our most popular. People love them because they're so round and flat and such a bright red, kind of orange, and they go really well in stackers. These are fairy tales. They're really neat because they start out this dark green color, and a lot of people actually like to buy them green. But a lot of times they'll keep turning, and they'll turn this autumn color, and they can turn even all the way brown, and they'll last forever. People paint them for Christmas, and they last a long time. And then the greatest thing is when you can find a small one that turns all the way brown. They're great for cooking. They're my favorite. Real smooth, thick texture, and it just makes a great pumpkin pie. This is a green cushaw, and we can't keep enough of these. The people down in Louisiana love to cook these things, and so they've just been selling like crazy. Everybody always asks why we call these lunch ladies. And some people think it's because they're full of warts, but I always tell them it's because you never know what you're gonna get. We get smooth ones that are all different colors, and we get ones with warts, and they're different colors, and you can just find anything around here. My favorite this year is called the Knucklehead. And not only do I love the name, because I call my kids knuckleheads all the time, but it's just a really neat pumpkin that's kind of a traditional jack with a lot of green warts all over it, so it looks really cool for Halloween. We start planting usually in late June. We do 2 plantings to space out the arrival. And then we start September 15th or so delivering. We sell them wholesale to nurseries all over the middle of the state and to pumpkin patches. And it's just so neat when you get a big pile of all different color pumpkins all together, and you think, how do they come in so many neat colors and shapes and sizes?
Coming up next, jack-o'-lanterns and how to keep your creative carvings fresh for days. After the break, a twist on the classic creme brulee. And a little later, things get a little spooky around here. When I have friends over for dinner, I like to do as many things as I can ahead of time, which brings me to the topic of a delicious dessert. That's why I love to serve creme brulee. You can prepare them the day before and finish them off just before you serve them. This recipe is for pumpkin creme brulee. It's perfect because you can use pumpkin fresh from the garden. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to preheat your oven to 325. The next thing, it's all about the eggs. You want to separate the yolks from the whites of 4 eggs. And I just dump all of the egg yolks over into a large bowl because in that large bowl, you're going to take a half a cup of brown sugar and you're going to whisk all of this together. Then add about a half a teaspoon of ground allspice, a quarter teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and a quarter of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Here's where you're going to get the aroma hit. It's marvelous the way this smells. It really does smell like fall. Add a pinch of salt, and then a half a cup of granulated sugar, then 1 cup of heavy cream. And then the real kicker, the seasonal ingredient. In this case, as I've mentioned, it's pumpkin. And so what you want to do is you want to use 1 cup of pureed pumpkin. Now you can use it from a can, but you get extra points if you use a fresh pumpkin, and you get double extra points if you grew that pumpkin. Now once you've mixed all of this together and you have a liquid creme brulee, it's time to divide the mixture into ramekins. This recipe will produce enough to fill about 6 to 8 ramekins. Now it depends on the size ramekin. With mine, this recipe will only fill about 6 of them, and you want to take the creme brulee and fill it up to about a ½ inch space from the top. Next, just place them in a baking dish and fill it about halfway up the sides of the ramekins with hot water. Now you're going to bake this for about 30 to 35 minutes just until the mixture is set. Then remove the ramekins from the oven and place them just out on the counter or on the top of the stove until they come to room temperature, and then place them in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 hours. You want them to cool completely. Now here's where you can leave these creme brulees in the refrigerator for up to a week before you use them. This is the beauty of serving these as a dessert. Now when you're ready to serve them, just remove them from the refrigerator and sprinkle about a tablespoon of sugar on each creme brulee. Then use a chef's torch to melt the sugar until they're crisp and dark brown. Now I'm telling you, you're going to thank me if you make this recipe because it is so easy and so delicious. Give it a try. The Halloween party is going so well. I'm really excited. But you know, there actually is a ghost story associated with the farm. It's about these people who died down on the river, and every once in a while they all come back and they haunt. I don't believe any of that mumbo jumbo, but it's a great story to tell. And my friends at the Repertoire Theater, well, they do a really great job telling that story.
My name is Rafael Castanera. I am the production manager for Arkansas Repertoire Theater here in Little Rock, Arkansas. We didn't want anybody to be terrified. We wanted them to laugh a little bit. Also, we wanted them to be enthralled and maybe feel a little chill down their spine. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't too long, that it was entertaining, that they could follow it easy, and still tell a complex story and a fun story at the same time. And it's one of those things, it's a one-time shot that we have to get it right. The final moment is hopefully a true moment of surprise that you will be, it's definitely climactic. If we can put out there what I see in my head, I think it's gonna be great.
I am the storyteller. She has a very certain tone that changes from beginning to end. I can't say too much without giving away the story, but it was a lot of fun to see the character evolve and to kind of come alive. In the short little 12-minute segment that we're doing, our technical people probably have more sound cues and more lights cues than they do for a regular musical. I mean, it's jam-packed full of special effects.
Not me, them!
If you want to be one of the first to know what I'm working on and what's happening at the farm, be sure to sign up for my newsletter at palensmith.com and check us out on Facebook. We'll be right back. Well, I hope you enjoyed our Spooktacular event at the farm, and I hope you picked up a few ideas for your next Halloween party. Remember, get out there and eat, drink, and be scary. They hybridize, cross-pollinating, and creating all these weird sorts of shapes and forms, you see.
It's a corn maze, I know.
How did you do?
You told me to get it ready for Halloween.
But it's a corn maze.
Yeah, I know. You can find anything on YouTube. I just looked it up on YouTube,
Really?
man.
How
Yeah,
did
it's
you
great.
plant that like that? It looks real.
Okay, we gotta get him.
I love it.